just keep winning. While the video game numbers have been brought down to earth this season, the Reivers football team keeps posting marks in the win column. Nearly 3/4 of the way through the 2015 season, and a game looms that gives the Reivers a chance to make a case for getting back into the NJCAA top 10. Would the Reivers pull off a Windy City upset, or is it back to the drawing board? We'll find out next on the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show, the Coach Stroh Show, only on CBTV 17. Some things change, some things stay the same. While the offensive production has taken a hit from the injury bug this season, the Reivers defense, by and large, has been the consistent player, much like it has been in previous seasons of Reivers football. Hello, I'm Jake Ryan, along with the head coach of Iowa Western football, Scott Strohmeier. We are two of those things that have stayed the same, and since season number 1, Coach, the Reivers winning over DuPage has also remained the same. 7-0 all-time against the Chaparrals, but this season they are undefeated and heading toward a top 5 ranking coming into the week against the Reivers at number 6 overall in the NJCAA poll. What are they doing different this year, if anything? They've got big victories over Georgia Military on the road, Erie on the road. They beat Ellsworth on the road. I mean, that's some pretty good wins. They
have been, and maybe people thought that was not worthy ranking, but Coach has done a good job. It's his 3rd year, and he's kind of building it the way it probably should be. And he played or actually coached with the longtime Bob McDougall, who they actually honored at the game that we played on Saturday, but kind of doing it the right way and bringing in the Chicago kids, the local kids, and getting them to buy into the program.
Can you imagine coaching Reivers football as a part-time coach?
No, there's no way. I mean, I don't know how he does it with being at the school for most of the day and then coming over, no full-time coaches around there. Sure. It's got to be hard, but like I said, he's doing it for the right reasons, and he's doing a good job with it as well.
Well, let's take a look at those first half highlights from the Windy City. Just outside of it in Glen Ellen, Illinois, the Reivers wearing their white combo, 15-5 overall coming into the game, and it's a handoff to John Nazambo. That would be a name that the Reivers would have in their back pocket as the game went on. Zach Martin, a completion as you guys start toward the north end zone against the wind, and Zach firing those short passes early on. What did you see watching the film against DuPage?
Well, we thought coming in that we could get some of those short ones and kind of get in a groove until they're good. Now the funny thing is that we prepared. They never showed the defense that they ran against us in 3 years, and all of a sudden we come out in this game and they're totally new. So we had to make some adjustments.
So Devin O'Hara, the quarterback, and here is another John Nazambo run. This one a big chunk of yardage, all the way to the 37-yard line for the Reivers.
Yeah, it was good. Like I said, they came out. We had to change up some of the things that we were planning on all week because of their defense that they're running, but it's good to get the run game, getting a couple runs there.
Incomplete pass there, the one before, Zach Martin on the run. Did you hold your breath during that run, Coach?
Every time you do now.
There's a completion to the sideline. Rico Gafford driving the DuPage receiver out of bounds, and then Devin O'Hara. And how about the hit from Shaq Jones lining up their slot receiver, Logan Ward?
Shaq's really improving, coming into his own, a good player, and getting better each week.
The length of Stacy Keeley bringing Devin O'Hara down. The Reivers get a chance to start with a short field after a pretty short punt and a good return by Turner Gaines, and then it's a handoff to number 25, John Nazambo, going to work.
Yeah, again, it's good to see. We got to get we have to get be able to run the football, and it was good that we got a few there early.
Zach Martin down the middle, great catch there. I believe Tyus Mason is the man that made it in the middle, and Zach seems to have that shoulder fake down pretty well. There's a play that we saw earlier in the season that was intercepted, but Zach's got a little zip on his ball. Taj running the right route, a completion, and then let's throw to the corner on 4th down. Malcolm Moore puts you on the board, 6-0 Reivers.
Well, like I said, it was good to get down and drive it in and score, and Zach has got a little bit more velocity. Is getting a lot better, so hopefully we can continue to keep making progress.
Christian Ellison. They list him at 6'2", 240, their starting tailback. He was a big dude.
He was. I'll tell you what, we held him pretty much in check the entire game. Our defense is doing a heck of a job.
And then it's Abe Freeman. Good to see him back healthy. He's been after the quarterback for quite some time after getting back in the lineup. And here it is again, chasing down O'Hara with the pinky sack.
Jeez. I mean, he's so quick off the ball, and you know, most defensive ends maybe are a little bit bigger, and he's got some quickness that some of those big tackles can't keep up with.
Don Nzambo, you really going to him on the play action. Then the first reception of his Reaver career right here, a gain of 6 yards to Nzambo toward the chain.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that was one thing. They're dropping everybody so deep that, you know, the running back underneath had to be something, or to the flat, and Zach get him.
Ray Gray still looking to get some momentum going after he was banged up for several weeks. After that first game against Coffeyville where he rushed for 100 yards, just looks like he's struggling to find the hole.
Yeah, and I think he's got to get into the groove a little bit better and you know, practice and get more reps there as well, getting some confidence back.
O'Hara, there's a penalty. This one picked up off the ground by Merrick Jackson, and the referee didn't see that the ball hit the turf, and also that the penalty marker was on. Merrick thought he had one of those fat guy touchdowns in there, didn't he?
I think they all were hoping that, and if anything, he made it look like he did catch it.
Absolutely.
So made them think.
He sold it well and scampered in, and when the referee signaled touchdown, I think I was surprised by anybody. But it comes back, O'Hara scrambling all day long, and actually this is their backup tailback, or quarterback, Evan Scales, who came in for a couple of series. Neither one of them could get the DuPage offense going in the first half.
No, like I said, we held them in check. They didn't do anything offensively in that first half, and you'd like to get a few more offensive touchdowns, but defensively, when you don't let them score, you can win a lot of games.
So the Reivers get it back after another drive stalls, and then it's a quick hit outside into the hands of Tyus Mason. Talk about the year that Tyus has had. He just keeps getting better and better each and every week.
Well, he does, and I mean, we're utilized. He's getting a lot more reps at the wide receiver position, which is, you know, probably a good thing. You know, he still can run some tailback stuff, but he's getting a little bit more comfortable at the wideout.
What kind of interest is he getting?
Well, you know, it's still starting. We're still fairly young in the time, and if you continue to put up numbers and have highlights and things like that, I think it'll pick up. There's one right there that he wanted back as he dropped it over the middle. You guys try for the field goal, and that one is dropped by Brock Larson, and so a turnover on the attempted field goal. Yeah, those we got to get is an opportunity for us to get up 10, and missing that, so it hurts, but we got to come back and play. Page trying for the short stuff, and it's just really going nowhere. Reivers one final chance to get down the field here in the first half, up 7-0, out of bounds, and then Zach again will go to the sideline, and quick hits, although I believe they called that one off of out of bounds. Chris Jones couldn't hang on, so you head to the grassy field by their softball field. No real locker room for you to go to, and we'll talk about what you said to the team up 7-0 at the half when we come back. More Stroh Show is right after this on CBTV 17.
Okay, it's decision time. I want to experience a 4-year college in 2 years. I want to live on campus but get to my career faster. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on, real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
That's slow and below.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously. Okay.
From the studios of CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs, Jake Ryan along with Iowa Western head football coach Scott Strohmeier. Nothing has come easy this season, Coach. Did you have that easy feeling at the half, up only a score against DuPage, or or were you a little bit like, man, we've missed some opportunities, and I think they might be coming around?
Well, I mean, we controlled the game, I felt, in the first half for the first 30 minutes. And, you know, as a drop pass here, you know, I think we had 4 drop balls on 3rd down, and, you know, we took a sack and we had a penalty on another drive. But we have to, you know, we have to finish some things off. And, but pleased with our performance. Obviously, you'd like to be up more than 1 score when you dominate the game like that. But the way the defense is playing, I mean, you felt pretty good at ease.
All right, well, let's take a look at those second half highlights as the Reivers come out of the locker room. They are ready to go, and ready to go offensively, actually ready to go defensively, as Devin O'Hara hands off to Christian Ellison, and just like the first half, deja vu all over again. They started the second half with the Reivers stacking him up in the backfield.
They tried getting him going, and for the whole day, you know, our defense did a good job of rallying to the ball.
Nice pass out to Tyus Mason here as the Reivers, again, watching the defensive highlights, Coach, it's good to see some of those faces healthy again and in the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. It's always nice. I don't know, we're getting close there of everybody being back and ready.
Zach Martin down the middle, this one off the hands of Tyus Mason, who's really stepped up as this season has gone on. That one he would like back, and then how about a throw to the sideline, nearly intercepted, tipped, and batted away, so incomplete. Reivers continuing to go. Turner Gaines, his only reception of the day, and he's upended after a short game.
Yeah, he was kind of dinged a little bit, you know, again, throughout the game, so he didn't get as many opportunities, but again, there's the 3rd down one. We'd like to be able to make that one, but again, when you're playing it defensively the way we are, you know, it's a field position game now.
Second stringer completes the pass there. Evan Scales will roll out on this play. He's going to be drugged down from behind. Dietrich Bing Dukes gets him. Abe Freeman probably should have had him. You saw a penalty flag come in. Face mask against the offense that time.
Yeah, and we got obviously be able to decline it, but it's good, like I said, when you can get those negative plays.
How about a pass to Ray Gray? He makes the reception. And I'll tell you what, it would be fun to see him get into some space. He's very quick as John Nazambo takes the handoff and goes down the field, right down the middle.
Well, and that's what we've got to try to get back into. You know, you had 100-yard games like you said, in the game 1, and we got to get him some space in the run game and let him why we got him. You know, why he should be playing for us.
Tight end gets a reception. Sam Harms. Zach Martin sacked for the only time on the day. He's got that shoulder fake down, but maybe one too many times on that play.
Yeah. And once in a while, it's kind of a habit deal, but you know, here we run the same play. We just flip the formation and convert a 4th down. This is a good drive here in the 3rd.
Ray Gray, a little nick at the line of scrimmage. That doesn't stop him. He gets inside the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. Yeah,
and like I said, you get him a little bit of space. It's good to see him going.
Yep, you bring in the bruising back. John Nazambo punches it in. Touchdown Reivers. 13-0 extra point, no good. And a 13-point lead. And all of a sudden, DuPage has a little bit of fire in him.
Yeah, I mean, you block the extra point. There's still 2 scores, and they can put up 1 point. And you know, that's where we got to respond.
Devin O'Hara incomplete, but the pass interference penalty called against D.A. Williams. They'll keep working it as O'Hara tried to do the design quarterback draw there, and well, it didn't go anywhere. But he does get a man across the middle here. Krishawn Caver-Williams makes the reception, and again, they're just moving the chains.
I mean, they got weapons. You know, they can do some things, and that's a nice catch there. Unfortunately, we didn't get that one, but now they're in the red zone and knocking on the door for their first score. Like I said, they haven't done nothing all day.
Yeah, just missing out on the fumble recovery there, and then John Swisher, not so sure on the dance afterwards, but he gets a good quarterback sack. And then a throw down the middle on 4th down, tipped. Ben Garlick had it, and then Krishawn Caver-Williams just takes a step backwards, and he scores the touchdown.
Well, it's unfortunate. We jump off sides on 4th and long. You know, obviously they decline it, but then you know, then they get converted as well. That's give them some life.
Going for the home run ball on 1st down. 2nd down, it is the only turnover of the day for the Reivers, intercepted on the far sideline by Marquez Washington.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those deals. It's kind of been the way it's gone. You know, something happened there, give them more life. And, you know, it's a 6-point game now, and I'm sure there's been a lot of people that are like, oh, here we go again. And
well, I tell you what, some people say there's no such thing as momentum in sports, but I tell you this, this drive right here exemplified the fact that momentum, a very serious part of sports. Their extra point blocked by the Reivers, so brand new ball game in the 4th quarter, all tied at 13.
Well, that was huge, you know, being able, now it's tied, you can just run your stuff. You're not in as much of a panic mode maybe, and you know, now we can methodically, there's enough time obviously, but this kind of sparked us.
Well, Malcolm Moore, again, the yards after contact, for Malcolm Moore on the season are just unbelievable. He gets all the way down inside the red zone, and the Reivers are in business.
Well, it's huge. You need something like that. You need a guy to make a play that sparks your team, and he did. You know, we had some drops earlier, but you know that gives him. Malcolm's done it this year on a couple occasions.
On Nzambo coming back in after a huge hit, a player ejected for targeting on John, and I didn't know that we'd see him for the rest of the game, but he did come back in and score the touchdown, 20-13, and then, well, DuPage can't get it going. Overthrow there on third down, and they just keep trying, but the Reivers doing whatever they can to win this one, and they'll wave them off. Here comes the offense, and take the victory formation, and well, not quite yet, as he's got some clock to run, but this last drive had to feel pretty good.
We did, you know, and you know, come in and get the first down. We knew we'd get the first down, and the game's over. And you know, Zach, even if his shoulder's a little bit banged, he wanted the QB sneak, and that's whatever you got to do to win the ball game.
So the victory over 6th-ranked DuPage, 20-13, the final. That's pretty impressive to go on the road to a top 10 team and get the win on the road. Back-to-back wins on the road over ranked teams in the whole scheme of things. Well,
yeah, you know, like I said, we're starting to get healthy. Our kids are playing together a little bit more with all the changes in the roster. To go on the road anytime, like I said, anytime you go, got to travel and the night before and get up and play a game. You know, it's always good. And it was their homecoming. They honored a whole bunch of alumni. I mean, they had a lot of things going for them, you know, to get up for that game as well. So I was pleased with our guys.
Absolutely. And you look at the numbers on the day, maybe nothing glares at you, but a solid day rushing after a couple weeks of, well, 0 on the ground, basically. John Nzambo, 19 carries, 87 yards. The pair of touchdowns, obviously the game winners.
Well, you have to. I mean, we have to run the football a little bit. You know, and one of the things that they did, they seen us the week before, and what we did is just emptied it out and threw it around all over. So they came out with a new defense that we haven't seen or prepared for, so we had to make some adjustments. But they're going to make us run it. I'm assuming, you know, if I'm playing us, I'm going to make us run it for a while as well. You know, but we're getting better at it, and that's all you can do. With all the turf fields that you guys play on, do you ever bring like a tray of dirt to draw up plays on the adjustments, or how's that work? That's called the whiteboard. Do we draw it up on? I know. I just wanted to picture you bringing a tray of dirt. That's all, Coach. Come on now. Well, when we come back, one tough runner, the Reivers battering ram, will join the program next. This is the Coach Stroh Show right here on CBTV 17.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The Coach Stroh Show continues right here on CBTV 17. I'm IDub TV student Drake Curry, and with me is Reivers running back John Nzambo. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Coming back from DuPage, number 6, well, previously number 6 in the country. Getting the win on their home turf, how did it feel?
It felt pretty great because it was also their homecoming and it was a big game for us, and we had a good week of practice, so I think that we came in there well prepared and we executed and we got the win, and we're pretty happy about that.
Like you said, it was their homecoming, probably some extra good feeling spoiling their homecoming and their festivities. What was it like in the locker room after the game?
It was pretty exciting in the locker room. You know, everybody was just happy that we beat the number 6 team in the country. I mean, as far as me, I was pretty happy that I got to score in a game that really mattered like that. So everybody was just in a really good mood. So
you guys only scored 7 points in the first half. What did you guys do offensively in the first half, just to only get that 1 touchdown?
I think that we missed some opportunities. I know that Malcolm Moore could have scored more than 1 touchdown like he did in the first half, but I think that we just had a lot of missed opportunities, and we can't really have those. But yeah, I think that there were just a couple missed opportunities that we had. We passed a lot in the first half, and but I think they were just things that we need to work on in practice.
Go into maybe what are a few things going into practice that you guys could still improve on?
I think we need to improve on our run game a lot more. I think that we are a good passing team, but I think that we can't just pass on teams all the time. I think that we need to establish a run game, and I think that me and Ray have to focus a lot this week as far as like the defensive fronts go and all that. So
you had 19 carries for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half. What did you see from your offensive line that led you to get those touchdowns?
My offensive line, I mean all the credit goes to them first because they're the ones that give me the holes in the lanes. But I think that they did a really great job last week, and I think that they improved a lot last week. But I mean, as far as all the big runs that we had, I have to give them credit because they're the ones that made those happen. So
you got Hutch coming up this week, and always a big tough opponent in the Jayhawk. What do you think you guys need to do this week to help you guys beat Hutch?
I think that we just need to improve the little things. I mean, we've beaten some pretty good teams on the road this year, but I just think that we need to improve on the little things this week of practice. It all starts today on Tuesdays and all the way to Fridays. So,
John, thank you for being on the show today. We look to see you in the end zone a little bit more this season. Coming up after the break, Jake Ryan and the coach will be back to talk about the Reivers and the Blue Dragons. We'll be right back.
Okay, it's decision time. I want to take classes I need, spend less time working to pay for them. I want flexibility to transfer my credits. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on, real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun?
Our final segment of this week's Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. Dangerous opponent on the road this week, but they are a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde. Hutchinson, the Blue Dragons starting the season like the Iowa Western Reivers did in the top 10, but they're nowhere to be found now as they have dropped 3 out of the last 4, including a loss last week at Highland. Coach, what can you tell us about the up and down Blue Dragons of Hutchinson?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're the best 4-4 team that I've seen in the country. I promise you that. They got talent. You look at it, they lost to Coffeyville, they lost to Butler, which we did as well. We beat Highland 13-6, they got beat. And then we beat Dodge in the last 10 seconds and they got beat. So, we won a couple of those games, close ones, and they ended up losing them. We're going to have to be ready to go. Like I said, they're talented across the board. They're preseason pick to win the Jayhawks. You don't just get that.
Right.
They know that they had some guys returning, and they've had some injuries as well.
Final road game of the season. What do you guys do as far as preparation for this one? Obviously, the guys have worked hard all season, but there's 2 home games looming. How do you keep them from looking ahead? I know they know this is a big game, but how do you keep them focused on this final road game?
Well, I think one, they know. It's we've never played there, so there's a lot of new things in going to Hutchinson. I've never, I don't know the surroundings. We haven't stayed in hotels, so it's going to be kind of new from our standpoint. But I think our guys are understanding that each game it's getting bigger and bigger as you continue to win. And we said that 6 weeks ago.
Sure.
Just take it one game at a time and see what happens. And here we are. We won 6 straight. We got a tough opponent ahead of us. And I think if we continue to take the one-game approach, I think our guys will be ready.
Everybody relatively healthy after Saturday's game against DuPage?
I think so. We'll know a little bit more as we go through the week. Taj and D.A. Williams both, will be maybe limited a little bit in practice, but a status for the game is unknown. And but other than that, I think we're getting there.
All right, and how about Anna Strohmeier? Has she recovered from her second road trip of the season?
Yes, it was a long trip. The guys are trying to talk her into, or talk me into letting her come for the next one, but I can't do that. She can't miss school.
And of course, leaving Friday for Hutchinson, maybe a chance to practice at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. That would be a first, that's for sure. I know you guys have maybe been down as part of a couple coaches' clinics, but overall, there hasn't been much interest in the Reivers from that side of the river, but it's getting there. We're getting there. Hashtag recruit the Reivers, I think, is what we're starting to use. Another show in the books. Make sure you tune into the game on Saturday as we bring you all the action from Hutchinson, Kansas. Pregame starts at 12 noon with Jared Ingram and Russ Nelson setting things up, and then I'll talk to you for all of the action beginning again at 1 o'clock as the Reivers and Blue Dragons kick off from Memorial Stadium. Final road game of the regular season. We've got a couple of home games coming up with First Responders Day on Halloween against Fort Scott, and then, of course, the Chili Cook-Off and Sophomore Day on November the 7th against Iowa Central. That will be the annual battle for the Kinney Cup. Make sure you log on to GoReivers.com. Keep up with all of the events that we've got planned for Reaver Athletics, and don't forget the free tailgates before each of those home games. Thanks again to head coach Scott Strohmeier, and of course running back John Nazambo for taking the time to be on the show today, and of course for our IWTV student crew for putting it all together. Make sure you watch the highlights from the Reivers and your favorite Southwest Iowa teams every week on the Bluff Sports Zone. This has been the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17. We'll see you next week, and we'll talk with you on game day. Until then, wear your blue, be loud, and go Reivers.